Julian Alvarez is a talented player. So is Ruben Neves and Florian Wirtz, as well as Erling Haaland, Franck Kessie, or Frankie de Jong. However, none of these players are going to join Manchester United in the current state of things. This isn't a rant about how inefficient, clueless, or reactive the club has become, but rather an objective look into the real reason why Manchester United are a club that will struggle to sign quality players in the short term. Many fans will interpret the slow pace at which the club is moving with regards to the Julian Alvarez transfer or their inability to sign a defensive midfielder, even though it is blatantly a priority, as internal inefficiency or misplaced frugality on behalf of the Glazers. But the answer is actually much simpler than that: poor squad building. The club has made some major mistakes for years now, and they are finally catching up with us. Our chickens have come home to roost, and those mistakes are the following: signing inadequate players, signing players in overloaded positions while neglecting key areas of the pitch, handing out big contracts to undeserving players, and finally, the club's inability to trim the squad every season by selling players or letting them leave on a free. What these mistakes have done to the Manchester United squad is a condition we may call chronic squad bloating, a condition where the squad suffers from having too many players, none of which truly exceptional, and yet most of them on big long-term contracts with high wages. If we use Julian Alvarez as a case study, we get exposed to the grim reality that is the notoriously chaotic Manchester United squad management. Julian Alvarez is a forward, so if he signs for Manchester United, he'll be competing with the following players: Cristiano Ronaldo, Edinson Cavani, Anthony Martial, Mason Greenwood, and Marcus Rashford. This is of course based on United playing a 4-2-2-2 formation. If RALF RANGNICK switches to a 4-2-3-1, then you can add Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata, and Donny van de Beek to the list. This is a ridiculous predicament we find ourselves in. That's just too many players in an overly saturated area of the pitch. This becomes even more ridiculous when you consider the aforementioned players' wages. Ronaldo is on a reported £480,000 a week, while both Martial and Cavani are on £250,000 a week. Marcus Rashford is on £200,000 a week, while Jadon Sancho is on £350,000 a week. These players' salaries tell them and the rest of the world that they are the big deal. Players who are expected to play week in, week out and make a difference for one of the biggest clubs on the planet. And yet, most of them can't start every game. So how can the club sign a talented player like Julian Alvarez on top of that? Let's take Liverpool as an example. As much as it hurts me to say it, they have struck the perfect squad balance. If we look at their forwards, with Salah, Firmino, and Mane as their starters, we then have Jota, Minamino, and Origi as their backup players. This makes perfect sense. 3 forward spots filled by the 3 main stars, who are paid the most money, £220,000, £180,000, and £100,000 a week respectively, while players like Jota, Origi, and Minamino know that they are there as backup, whose job is to push the starters by trying their best to take their spot and force themselves into Jurgen Klopp's starting lineup. This means that the main stars are happy and settled by being relied upon and valued by their club, while the younger players feel engaged by the challenge proposed to them. But everybody knows their role and knows that provided they work hard enough, they'll have a chance. Contrast this with Manchester United's situation. If you play with one striker, then you can only choose one of Ronaldo, Cavani, or Martial. How do you keep players like Donny van de Beek, Mata, and Lingard motivated and challenged when they know that there are so many players ahead of them in the pecking order? How can you reward Mason Greenwood's breakthrough in the past couple of seasons by signing Jadon Sancho? If you play him on the right, you bench Greenwood. If you play him on the left, you bench Rashford. The squad is just too bloated. So with this in mind, how can Manchester United still go for Julian Alvarez? The only possible solution is to go for him in the summer with an understanding that he would be one of 4 forwards at the club with plenty of opportunities for game time. Cavani's contract is up in June, and the club could sell Anthony Martial. That way, United would have Ronaldo, Rashford, Greenwood, and Alvarez as their 4 main forwards. 3 of them are able to play on either wing, hence there'll be plenty of opportunity for everybody. However, two main issues arise. First and foremost, how can United get rid of Martial? Newcastle United have made a bid of £35 million for the Frenchman, but he rejected that offer. It turns out, even with Saudi money, big-name players like Martial aren't too keen on a move to Tyneside. They seem to be going for Chris Wood from Burnley, which probably indicates that they have given up on Martial. Sevilla, Juventus and Barcelona are all interested. However, none of them would be able or willing to match Newcastle's offer. Then of course, there is Julian Alvarez himself. The Argentine has plenty of offers from giant clubs in the continent. Real Madrid, AC Milan and Bayern Munich are all interested in the forward, and at £17 million, he is a bargain. AC Milan is already looking to pair him with Rafael Leao and Olivier Giroud. Real Madrid will shape their post-Benzema attack on either Haaland or Mbappe, which could accommodate Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo and Julian Alvarez as a supporting act. Then of course there is Bayern, who are already looking at the post-Lewandowski era, and Julian Alvarez could be the ideal player since he plays centrally but could add competition to Gnabry, Sané and Coman on the wings as well. Why would he wait for a speculative move to Manchester United in the summer when he can sign for teams that have similar standing and prestige in January? Take the Julian Alvarez case and copy and paste it to pretty much every talented player we are linked with. Florian Wirtz? Well, can't sign him until you get rid of Van de Beek. Ruben Neves? Well, Matic, McTominay, Fred, Pogba and Van de Beek are in the way. Gotta get rid of at least one of them, and the story goes on. Unless Manchester United trim the squad this January and sell even more players in the summer, we will always be constrained in the transfer market and we will be perennial underperformers on the pitch. Cheers.